Hey everybody, Leah Klett here with the Christian Post, and I'm so excited today to be joined by actress Alexa PevaVega. She and her husband Carlos star in the brand new film Get Him Back for Christmas on Great American Pureflix. You're doing another fun movie.
Thank
This
you.
one is Get Him Back for Christmas. And listen, I just love a Christmas movie. I love when they're clean. And you are very quickly becoming the next queen of Christmas with these movies.
We're excited. We haven't done a Christmas movie in a while, so this one was super fun. We just wanted for us, we love the old school Christmas movies. It's super dorky, but Christmas with the Cranks was just always such a fun, wild movie that we loved growing up. And we're like, man, how do we make those old school Christmas movies again? And we brought the idea to Great American Family, and they were so gracious as to allow us the freedom to be able to go out there and make our version of a Christmas movie. And I really feel like we did a good job of staying true to the things that we wanted and we believed in, all while making this a wholesome movie that the whole family can watch.
Well, Bella is such a relatable character too. I mean, we're talking about chasing love and rediscovering your roots. So, talk a little bit about why you wanted to tell this story and bring Bella to life.
Well, I love Bella because I feel like a lot of times in some of these movies, you have to pick one, chase your dreams or chase love. And with Bella, she's like, I want it all. Like, can I do it all? And watching her hard work, so for those of you who don't know what the movie is, Bella is an up and coming pop star. She's doing really well. She has a new single that's out with her very, very famous pop star boyfriend. And right before Christmas, he decides to go on a break. And he's like, I'm not breaking up with you. It's just a little break. So she goes home to kind of clear her head and to write some more music. And while she's there, she enlists her old songwriting partner, Jack, to help her write the ultimate, like, Get Him Back for Christmas song. And what I love about Bella is she's so determined. She doesn't, when you watch her, she doesn't seem like the typical, like, bratty pop star who has to go home to learn like how to be nice again. She's just a sweet girl, but the one thing that she has to find and rediscover is, what does real love look like? And I think going home was really kind of, it brought her back to, oh, a Hollywood version of love is one thing, but what does real love look like?
Well, and you are acting with your husband Carlos, which is so sweet because you guys have such a natural chemistry. Talk about how projects like this strengthen your relationship personally and honestly professionally because you guys just are so in sync together.
Oh gosh, we have so much fun filming together. Well, I think, look, we both know what we're capable of. And I've always said he elevates me and I elevate him. We bring out the best in each other. But sometimes when you're working with a co-star, I love to ad lib. I love to just do a little bit more than what's on paper. And sometimes a co-star will look at me and be like, that wasn't on that. Like, what are you doing? And whereas my husband, he'll just go back and forth with me and we'll just play and have fun all day long. And or if like there's a scene that either of us does and we're like, oh, you need one more take of that. Like, we know what we're capable of. So
Yeah.
I can always be there for him and he's always there for me. It's a really easy working relationship. And we're able to go home at night and talk about the things like, okay, well, let's try maybe something different tomorrow if that didn't work as well as we'd hoped today. You can go home um and I don't want to say like bring work home, but like game plan. Like, this movie was our baby. So to be able to do this together was very, very special.
Well, and you guys have four original songs in the movie.
Yeah, it's actually five. I,
Five.
I know, I think it's five. Hold on. We have Hey Bella, we have Getting Back for Christmas, we have the other Christmas song. Oh, maybe it is only four, but we sing five because the Hey Bella part two.
Yes.
That's
Well,
what it is.
what was that like though? Like writing and performing songs together, that's so fun.
It was awesome and awful. And here's why. I'll explain why. So the awesome part was Carlos got together with his bandmate from his new band called Angels and Kings, and they wrote all the music together with a couple other incredible writers. And then Alex scored the entire film. So this really was an Angels and Kings movie, which was super awesome. Um, the hard part for me was we didn't have the Hey Bella second version ready until about an hour and a half before we had to film it. And it was the most frustrating thing. And of course, like as God would have it, it was the biggest blessing. But I had for weeks been like, hey, like I'm writing different versions of this song, but like you guys need to tell me what you want. And Alex was like, hey, Carlos, do you want me to write it? Carlos was like, nope, I'm going to write this. Like I'm very determined to write this song. So I had like sent him versions that I'm like, this would be cool. Like, what do you think? And he's like, don't worry, babe. It'll come to me and it's just going to be perfect when it does. Well, we're down to the day. And at this point, I'm like mad now. I'm really frustrated because he is a very naturally gifted singer. I have to work for it a little bit more. And I remember we're like about to shoot, and he's like, okay, here are the lyrics. And I was so like, what are you what? Like, these are the lyrics now. Like, this is what I'm about to go sing. He's like, don't worry, you've got this. But it ended up being perfect because originally they had wanted me to, get up there and lip sync Hey Bella Part Two. To like a very recorded version of Hey Bella. But when you see how the scene plays out, there's just no way to get that kind of emotion from tracking a song, from trying to lip sync to a song that you recorded a month back. So I really do feel like this was the only way to film this scene, and it ended up being like the perfect blessing. But I was a stress ball leading up to this performance.
I have secondhand stress just hearing that. But I
It
mean,
was,
you wouldn't
oh,
know it. You guys do great.
I was so frustrated. And he wasn't trying to be mean or anything. Like it was just we were in such crunch time and there just wasn't enough time. But God was so good and so gracious to allow us to get through that. But yeah, I think I just need a little more confidence when it comes to music. I just need to feel that like, all right, God, like I've got this. I'm good. But yeah, I just needed a little more confidence.
Well, Alexa, I follow you on social media and you're so outspoken about your parenting and how faith influences your parenting. So I want to hear from you as someone who's grown up in really the public eye and in Hollywood. How do you teach your kids to know and fear the Lord when we're in a
Mm.
culture that just doesn't support parents in that?
Yeah, I mean, for us, even though we grew up in the industry, we've always been so separated from it. My even even the way my mom raised me, we were just always normal kids at home when we weren't on set. To the point where like I think at one point I was being a little bratty. I was like 10 or something like that. And she's like, nope. So she pulled me out of the industry and turned down jobs. And at the time everybody was like, you're crazy, you're going to ruin her career. She's like, well, I don't want to ruin my kid. And that is something super important that you don't really hear about often in this industry. So for us, even though we love filmmaking, we don't love the industry. There are a lot of aspects of it that are just a battle. It's a battle. So we try to live the most normal life. I mean, we lived on a boat on and off for 2 years before. So I don't know how normal we are, but we lived on a boat. We used to live in Hawaii for, I think, like 7 years. And now we're in Tennessee and we're just planting roots there. And it has been incredible. But the one thing I want to encourage parents out there, who cares what the world says? Um, do your best to just be really, really intentional with your kids. Make sure that if at all possible, you're the one who's spending the most time with your kids, not someone else. Um, Really don't be afraid to protect them from the things that are happening in this world. That's one thing that I think is so beautiful about my kids. Like they don't know what bad words are. I homeschool and I do a co-op with my oldest kid, and all the homeschool moms have, the same hearts. So their kids are also these just pure little babies. And it's very rare nowadays. It's very rare, but um, it really starts at home. It starts at home. And, you can tell your kids all you want, but at the end of the day, they watch you. They watch the things that you do, the things that that come out of your mouth, how you respond to one another. And that's how they're going to experience faith, is through how you treat people.
Well, Alexa, last time I talked to you, it was shortly after you'd experienced a stillbirth. How
Yeah.
are you today? How's your family?
I mean, we are great. God is so good. Grief is funny. Some days, you just think about her a little bit more, and but God is just filled with so much love. And I was saying to somebody else today that I have come to understand the verse, consider it pure joy when you face trials of many kinds, on a whole other level. And I think I'd always thought of that verse as such a like the daily trials of life, like, oh yeah, I had a bad day and that's the trials that they're talking about. But like, how do you consider it pure joy through grief, through like incredible loss? And I really feel like Indy taught us that. God knew the attacks of the enemy. He knew what was going to happen. So he made a way. And the community that he provided for us throughout this season, I've never had community like this before. Um, the way I think of heaven now on the daily, the way, I talk to God, my relationship with God, it's never been like this. So I feel like even though it was profound loss, it was also profound gain, where I experience a sliver of heaven daily because he just continues to meet me where I'm at. And the same thing with my husband. And it sounds weird. It sounds weird to say because it is so painful, but it was also so purposeful. We say that she didn't even take a breath and she changed the world. The things that she's done for people who've reached out to us who've also experienced stillbirth, what God has not just done for us in this season, but for other people in this season. I really do feel like it was almost like a reigniting of faith. And I'll make this quick, but I was worshiping the other day at church and I was like, Lord, I don't even know if this is possible, but if it is, can you just show me like what she's doing in heaven right now? Can I just get a glimpse? Like, is she playing? Like, are there other babies in a playpen right now? Like, what does that look like? Like, what is she doing? And I just got this whoosh of a vision that I know was like so clearly from the Lord. And I don't know what heaven looks like. I don't know what time the timeline looks like in heaven, but he showed me an image of a young woman in her 20s worshiping God in heaven with long, gorgeous, dark hair. And that was Indy worshiping God up in heaven in her 20s. And it blew my mind. Oh, yeah, girl, I was bawling. It blew my mind because I was just like, God, what? Like, I'm sitting here thinking she's like this little baby in heaven, but she's this grown woman worshiping and praising God. And I was like, thank you. Like, I just needed that. Thank you.
Got me in my feels right there. That's beautiful.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was so unreal. But that's what I mean. Like the sliver of heaven that he allows us to experience over and over again through her life. It's painful and it hurts and it's heartbreaking, but it's also like, holy cannoli, God, like I've never known you more than I know you now. I've never experienced you more than I've experienced you now. Like even my closeness to Indy, without her physically being here, I feel so connected to her, knowing she's safe up there dancing with Jesus. So it's just a wild, beautiful, painful experience.
hmm. Wow. I mean, what a powerful testimony you have, though.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's really neat to see your presence on social media and how honest and open and vulnerable you are, because I do think you're just impacting so many people and highlighting God's faithfulness through your story. So it's really, really special.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Well, he's good. It's not me. It's all the Lord. So I'm very, very thankful that he's been walking us through it.